Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Okay, so this is part of the tutorial of the lighted frame, okay? So what I did was I took a piece of craft paper, simply because it's very light and you can see the lights through it, okay? Can you see that? Okay, and I attached all the lights to the paper. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and shut it off. And I'm gonna pause the video and we're gonna go cut the vinyl for this piece, okay? You'll see the design and you'll know the color, and then after I weed it out, then I will show you how to put it on the glass. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and we will go and cut some vinyl. This should be very pretty, especially lit up. So we're just gonna let this cut. And I'm going to pause the video while it's cutting, and then I will show you how I weed out the vinyl. Okay, so hang tight. Okay, so the vinyl is now cut. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, it is cut. So I am going to pause the video and take off the vinyl here and weed out the pieces that I need to take out. Okay, this is critical. It takes a little bit of time. So please give me a few minutes and I'll be back in the design desk in a few moments. Okay, so now I'm going to weed out all the pieces that you see here. Okay, and that will take me just a few minutes, and then we'll head over to the other room, to the design desk. Okay, so now I have everything weeded out, and like I said, it is backwards because we're going to put it on the glass and then we're going to turn the glass around. All right, so we're going to head over to the design desk, and I'm going to show you how we put this on the glass. Okay, so we're back at the design desk, and I've got the camera angled in a certain way so that you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so we already have the lights, and now we need the glass here, okay? So that's what we're going to be working with right now. We're going to be working with the glass. So we're going to take this sheet of paper, okay, and we're going to leave it underneath. And I've already cleaned the glass off, okay? And what we're going to do here is we are going to take our tape. I'm using packing tape. I don't want to use strong grip because it won't work. So I'm going to take a piece of packing tape and I'm going to put it right down here on my design. I need to get a long enough piece of packing tape first. Okay, you need a long enough piece for this whole line right here. Okay, so we're going to take and we're going to do that like that. And you want to just burnish it with your fingers, or you can use the Cricut squeegee. Take another long enough line of tape and go right over the last one. Okay, and burnish it with your fingers real good. This vinyl that I'm using here is very good. It takes nothing to lift it up. Okay, then we're going to go right over the next one. This packing tape works real good as long as it's a flat surface, like I said before. Okay, and then we need 2 more pieces. So get it long enough. So what you want to try to do here is pull this up all in one shot. Okay, and then of course we'll take the last piece. Okay, and you just want to lay it down here, just like I'm doing. You want to try to get all the bubbles out here. Okay, now what you want to do is You want to find the tape and you want to just pull back, okay? Try to pull back slowly. You want to try to get every piece of this tape up at the same time, okay? Because when you go to put this back down, if it's not like that, it will ruin your design, okay? So we're just going to pull up from the corner, making sure we're getting every piece of tape here, okay? You want to make sure you're pulling this and getting every single piece, that everything's coming up right, okay? I'm going to have to connect that there, okay? So then you just want to kind of lift and make sure everything's coming up, just like that, okay? Now, after you've done that, here is where you put the design on, okay? So we're just gonna try to center it on the glass. You wanna try not to get any bubbles in this, okay? Because it's very hard to get out if you do. So just center it, and you kind of like make sure you don't have any bubbles, okay? Kind of go right down like that, over here in the corner as well. Not so easy to do with packing tape. It's not so easy to do with regular transfer tape either. So what you want to do is try to burnish that as best you can, okay? And we're just going to do the same thing that we did earlier, okay? Try to get all those air bubbles out. Now the good thing is you pick it up from the corner, and so you have to burnish it real good or it won't stay. I should use my squeegee, but it's in the other room, so we're just gonna do the best we can here. Okay, I like to start picking up from the corner. Okay, and like I said, you want to get all this tape at one time if you possibly can. Okay. Try to, this bottom part's coming off fairly well. Okay, so that's that. Of course, throw that piece away. And start wherever you're coming off real good with it. Okay, you can burnish that just a little bit with your fingernail. You can do it with the... Okay, so now that we have the vinyl on the glass, we can turn it around, okay? The reason why I like to do it this way is because you can clean this part. Now see, if the vinyl was on the outside, unless it was sealed, I don't really want to have to go through and seal this piece. Okay, so the reason why I cut the decal backwards is so we could apply it to the glass and then turn the glass around, and then we put it in its frame, okay? And now it becomes the right way, all right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick the piece of paper with the lights here. Okay, let me just go ahead and grab that. We're going to stick a piece of paper down onto the glass, okay, like this. And a couple of pieces have come undone, and that's normal because I had it under my desk here. So let's just kind of like piece it back in there. Okay. So now that we have that, we want to put that in there, and we want to check and see how it actually looks. Okay, so we are going wide ways, and we want the frame backing that way. Okay, so now let's turn on the light. And I just want to see how this looks, okay? I'm not going to secure the back just yet. Oh, I think that came out nice. I think it really came out really nice. Okay, and it says fill a house with love and it becomes a home. So there is the lighted picture frame, and of course it is battery operated, and I will more than likely mount this to the back of the stand. Okay, so forgive me for chopped up videos, okay, going here and there to another room to cut and back to the design desk to weed out the material and apply it, but that's what that looks like, and I think it's very, very pretty. So I hope all y'all have enjoyed the video, the tutorial, and I hope you'll join me again. Got some really cool things on the horizon. All right, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay safe, take care.